So friends, in order you want to get the $1 million prize, so what you have to do I am telling. So Riemann zeta function is not a big, it's not a easy one. I would say it's a really very big deal. I have heard that some professor from Hyderabad has really solved it. Okay. So now what we are going to see is we are going to see about the Riemann zeta function, Riemannian hypothesis on conformal mapping. Riemannian hypothesis on conformal mapping. So let's see the connections. Okay, using some maxima and computer algebra softwares, and where are the zeros situated and the importance of it. Okay, hypothesis. Okay, so what is this Riemannian hypothesis? So this is the function, the Riemannian hypothesis function, and you have it in this form. Okay, so now what happens is that, as you can see from here, 1 by n power s. So I am just telling you all the details you need. Okay, this s is a complex variable. That's why they are giving it in x plus iy. Okay, that's why they are giving it in x plus iy. So the Riemannian hypothesis has an trivial and non-trivial zeros. What are these trivial and non-trivial zeros? So the trivial zeros are very continuous, -2, -4, -6 and all those things. But the non-trivial zeros are all situated in the same line of 1 by 2 plus ti. So let me show you what is an complex function and how it is really useful. Okay. So let me show you now. If I just plot it, you will not able to be, you will not be able to visible, but I will tell you with an Jacobian analogy. Why Jacobian? Because Jacobian is a curvilinear, actually it is a mapping system. Okay, you just go here, Jacobian GeoGebra, and you can see the locus of the Jacobian. So on Jacobian I have made a lots of video. I think I don't have to redo it. So now what happens is that this Jacobian, how it is being plotted. For x you assume that values are u squared minus v squared, and y 2uv. Jacobian has no connections with conformal mapping, or it may have connections but in advanced level, but it doesn't have connections in this mean. Okay, so you have this. So now what I am doing is I am just shifting this over here, and it is moving all over there and all things are happening. So now I am just doing it in a manner. Now what I am doing, when this red point is tracing a curve, that is in here it is 1 comma 1, it is actually in here it is 4 comma 5. So every point is being displaced into a new coordinate position. Okay, so now what I am doing, I am just increasing the length and width of the object. Okay, so I am just zooming it off quickly, and I am just drawing the animation. So you can see that it is drawing another square which is deformed. So in this point, what you can tell, okay, so in here it is -1 comma 1, but in here it is nearly 0.3 comma something. In here it is 1.8 comma 3 3.5 comma, but in here it is 6 comma 2. Okay, in here it is actually 3 comma 3 comma 1.6. Okay, it is 3 comma 1.6, but in here the same point is deformed and it is 7 comma 9. Okay, so the points differ, it is being mapped to a certain position. Okay, everything is being certain. So in order to get the correct meaning, you have to see my Jacobian tutorial. Okay, okay, now what we have to do, these are the basics of conformal mapping, that you just scribble something over here. Okay, that is, you just scribble something over here. What happens is that in here it transforms into another curve. Okay, when you just start to scribble here, it transforms into another curve over here. In UV plane or XY plane, it is vice versa. Okay. Okay. So now what happens is that this is the meaning. Now you go to this Explore Math 3D, which is an open source software, and go to the conformal map. And what you do is that I'm just putting in function like this. Okay, this is the function. So as you can see, these are the functions. So for every, you can see here, I'm doing some actions and showing you. So for if I just draw a straight line here, in here it is some kind of curve, red color curve is being traced. So if I draw a circle, choose some interval. Okay, I just choose some interval. It is being deformed into some curve. And if I just choose a circle, it is being deformed into a curve. Whatever I do know, you just see here in a Riemannian sphere point of view. So this is the Riemannian sphere. I'll tell you what is stereographic projection and everything. So whatever I scribble here, okay, whatever I scribble here is being transformed into another curve over here, into some other curve over here. So I'm just going to tell you how to understand this by Riemann zeta function. Okay. So this Riemannian sphere is nothing but, I have already told you that this Riemann zeta function is the same one. Okay, the only thing is that for 1 by n of s, okay, for 1 by n of s, you just plot a different one. Okay, so you just go here and you just type 1 divided by n power s. Okay, and you just calculate the sum, put this n, is an integer, so n 2, this is supposed to be infinity. Okay, this is supposed to be infinity, so let us keep it in that way. Okay, so let us keep it in that way. So 1 by n power s. So you can see here the Riemann zeta function is of this sort. So now what I am doing is, when you just give some number, it just expands. So in here what you have to do is substitute for s. For s you have to substitute x plus, this percentage is nothing but it's just a maximus symbol for the imaginary. You can even give percentage I, with just I, it's an imaginary number. Okay, percentage I into y. Okay, right. Now you have to separate this into real part and imaginary part. So why I am doing this is, without understanding the complex variable, you cannot get $1 million or anything. Okay, so now you have this. So this is the imaginary part and real part of the system. Okay, sir. Then how should I do? So how really what you have to do is, you have to understand the graph of this function. Okay, actually what they are telling is that it is a straight line. All the zeros lie within this straight line. Actually all zeros lie within this half critical strip. Okay, so what is the equation of this critical strip? Which this critical strip in the UV, in this imaginary axis, transform into a curve like this. Okay, I will tell you how. Okay, it is really complex to plot. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say another graphing software. Okay, graph software, which is very useful. So I will give you the equations, which equations really are useful for this. So now what you have to do is, you have to understand the parametric equation for this. Okay, so a parametric equation, the critical strip equation is just simple. You just go here. If you just type 2 in x and y in t, so the y varies in t. So this is the thing. Only for it is constant at 2. The same function can be applied in half, 1 divided by 2. So This is the critical step. Okay, this is the critical step. So now how I have to understand? So I have to plot this. Okay, so in order to do that, it is very easy that I can plot it over here in xs. Substitute for x, you have to substitute as half 1 divided by 2. Okay, you have to substitute 1 divided by 2, and let me show you in a clear sense. So let me take this over here and plot it over here and show you in a clear sense. So just substitute x as 1 divided by 2. Okay, there is no x over here, so we are going to put s. For s, you just substitute x 1 divided by 2 plus percentage t into, okay, percentage I into t. This I percentage I am telling you, this percentage has nothing to do with this. This is just a syntax. Don't confuse it with compound interest or anything. So when you just do it, it becomes like this. Then after that, what you have to do, you have to separate it into real part. So it becomes like this. And after that, what you have to do, you have to do it as imaginary part. Okay. So I will tell you, I just made another calculation in this. So this is how it is being separated. So this is the function which is being separated as real part and imaginary part. No matter this, okay, no matter you are doing with this or anything, so you have to calculate the real and imaginary part in this manner. So let us go over here. So in order to understand this, you just click this critical step, and the only thing what you have to do is you have to find any other zero, which it should be non-trivial in nature. Okay, so it should not be -2, -4, -6 in even numbers. It should not continue like that. It should go like this: half minus 32.93 I, imaginary number. All this thing is in this critical step. So in order to explain to you, there is also another significant example on this. So what is this most significant example is that for 1 0 and other 0, the gap between that is the gap between the prime numbers. Okay, it is the same gap between that exists between the prime numbers. What that 0 that exists between two, that the 0 that is on the critical step between the 2 points is the gap between the prime numbers. So these are the details so far I can give you. Okay, so these thing. So moreover, in order to plot the Riemann zeta function, okay, Riemann zeta function, you can see that half plus I into t is the critical step. Okay, so these Hardy Littlewood conjecture and all those conjecture has been given. Okay, and also the numerical calculation can also be performed in this manner. So these are the so far things I can tell you. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to just find the normal details of this function. So now you just get over here, and what you have to do is I'm just pasting. This is the syntax for the thing to plot it in the pad1.graph. This pad1.graph is available in pad1dk. You can download it for free, and also Explore Math 3D is also for free. When you just go to this insert function and go to this x of t, y of t. Okay, I'm just telling you what is this so-called Riemann zeta functions conformal connections. Okay, so you just placed it with the real zeta, and also you just paste this imaginary into here. Okay, and just put 0 to 50. You can see that live zeros over here. Okay, so why it is not visible is that, so I'm just deleting it. You just get over here, go to the edit. Okay, and you have to plot the complex numbers for this. So there is no details on complex numbers given over here. So what we have to do is we have to delete this first, and we have to make a small change in the settings. So go here to the settings, put the calculate the complex numbers, and now what you do is you just copy the real part of this thing. So I will tell you this is not easy to extract, but even though you extract, there is a problem in this, because the arctan2 function is not available in most of the graphers. Okay, it is very complex to plot, so we have to use some other method. Okay, so it becomes like this. So you just have to give a correct limit 0 to 50. Okay, then only you can see that function. So this is the function zoom square. Okay, zoom square, and you just get over here, and you can see that this is the function. This is the critical step. How it is being transformed, I will tell you. Okay, how it is being transformed and the story behind it, I will tell you. So this is just an function zeta of z. Okay, you just go here, zeta, zeta of z. Okay, and when you just differentiate it with respect to z, you can normally get another zeta. Okay, or you just go here and type 5 plus percentage I. Okay, so zeta is not enabled, I think so. So let's go to the help, maxima help. So we have to find the zeta functions connections. So you just go here, zeta. Okay, so here is the zeta function. So zeta, yes, we have given it correctly, but we have to load something, I think so. So limit of it is actually we have to load the number theory, and then only it can work, I think so. So you just go here. So there are lots of zeta functions over here. So you just go here, just close it. Okay, cancel. So just go here and you have to just differentiate the zeta function, or if you can't differentiate the zeta function, you can do it in this way, and this is the differentiated, and you can expand it in this manner. Or what you can do is you can differentiate in this manner. So differentiate with respect to s, it will be we can use a Newton-Raphson method for that. I will tell you how. So these are the numerical methods, okay, to find zero. And also there is Miller's method, Siegel theta functions, and Turing method. And also using Turing method also you can find, or Volcado's method. All lots of methods are there. Z functions method and all lots of functions and methods are there. Okay, so what I am going to use to attack this problem is I am going to use the kind of kind of what to say. So this gamma is also one very interesting number. Okay, Riemann zeta function. So in here what we are going to do is I am going to attack the problem in a different way. Okay, so these are all calculations that we can make. So in here in Riemann hypothesis, I will tell you how it has prime connections. So you just go over here, that critical strip in here, you can see that one point in here 3 and 7 as the distance between the critical strip. So you have the critical strip, this is imaginary point and this is the real point, get zeros over here, and you have this non-trivial zeros, and the gap between the non-trivial zeros is the gap between the primes. That is what I am telling. So between 3 and 7 there is a gap, and between 7 and 11 there is a gap. So this is how this progresses. So in order to explain you a normal conformal mapping function, you may able to understand this. So I'm going here and I'm just typing sine z. Let me get a complex, very difficult one. Okay, cos z. Okay, cos z plus z par z. So it's a very complex one to do. So now what I am doing is this very difficult. This because arctan may exist there. So now what I am doing, I am just getting substitute for z. This is doesn't have any connections with Riemann hypothesis, but it may have, because every function has a prime inside it. So z x plus percentage I into y. Okay. So now what you do, you just separate this into real part. It becomes like this, and after that what you do, simplify this, get it into an imaginary part like this. So in the same manner, what happens is that I am copying this function, I am just plotting. So when I just do this, for example, I am just plotting just like Riemannian hypothesis. I am going to plot this function inside the uh, this normal complex function. So I am going to plot half by supposedly t. Okay, so it is like this. So when I am going to plot for x, I am going to give half. For imaginary part, substitute x, I am going to give 1 divided by 2. Okay, and for y, I am going to give t. Substitute y as t. Okay, this is imaginary part. Now in here, what I am going to do, substitute x as half. Okay, and I'm going to give y as t. Substitute y as t, and you get an function like this. So now what we are going to do is we are going to copy this function now. Okay, we are going to copy this function now, and I'm going to paste it in the real domain of this x of t and y of t. Without this, you have to plot it in very higher dimensions. Okay, this is for x and this is for y. Y or real part. Okay, this is x because that is the real part now. So you have to paste it over here. So you have to take this symbols. You have to take the symbols. You have to take the symbols. Okay, everything has been done. Again, get over here. And now what you have to do is you have to get this and paste it over here. Okay, now take this symbol which is mistakenly done by it and just plot it. So there is a curve, different kind of curve, very different curve, like a cardioid or something. Okay, it becomes like this. Okay, it becomes like this, and this curve keeps on going. When you just take the same function, like this in over here, when you just take the same function and go to the conformal mapping, and in here you just get over here, and now what you have to do is you take this function as it is. We don't want to separate it as any kind of imaginary or real part, put parametric functions or anything. Go to the user conformal, and just plot this. Okay, and just plot this. You will have a different kind of function like this. So there will be a very different function which is of this form. Okay, it is very highly scribbled and everything. And now what you have to do is you just put a line. So choose an interval. So this is the half point. So you just draw a line over here, and that curve is being deformed into that same kind of curve. Okay, the same kind of curve. So I just have to tweak the step size. Okay, I would just have to tweak the step size. So resolution should be 200. So 70. So let's see the resolution now. Okay, so it is very good. So the resolution is very high. So now what you have to do is, so in order to get these functions, so these are very deep functions where you can see that these resolutions are getting very high. Okay, you have lots of resolutions over here. So now what you do, you just get back here again, and now you just draw a circle over here from center, and you have a very different kind of curve. This green curve what you are seeing is because of this. So you draw another circle, Okay, it just deforms into another circle like this. Okay, so it just transforms into another circle. If you just plot a Riemannian sphere, it is like, it is of this form. Okay, it is of this form, and it is very hard to tell. So this stereographic projection also I'm going to tell you what is this. When I just cyclically morph it, okay, it will take some time. So these are the functions. So what is, these are the functions that can be done in a complex manner or conformal mapping manner. So I will tell you another function also. Instead of plotting this, let me go to another one, new. So let me go to another. Instead of plotting a line, let us plot a circle. What we did done there, no? So when you just go to here and you just plot a circle. So for circle it is 3 into, why now, why circle? Why don't we plot an ellipse? Okay, let's plot an ellipse. Okay, circles are boring. So cos 3 cos t, and this is 5 into sin t, which is an ellipse which has its major axis on y side. Okay, and you just draw to the square, zoom of square. So this is the type of, so it has, and radius, major radius of 5 and minor radius of 3. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this inside this function. Okay, for example, substitute in z, for z, what we are going to do is we are going to substitute cos cos for x, cos for x t, and plus sin sin of t percentage I. For y you have to substitute sin of t into percentage I. Okay, now you get a function like this. It is over here. Okay, you get a function like this, and now what you have to do is you have to separate it into real part. Okay, and you have to separate this into imaginary part. Okay, now you just take this function, and what you do is you will get a very bizarre curve. So insert function and go x of t, y of t, and just paste it and check whether, first check it doesn't have file. Okay, no problem. Just paste it over here and control H and replace all those things. Okay, and get over here. So it is a real part. So now that again you get the imaginary part. Okay, and get over here, and this may have some functions, so replace all. So now get the first the real part of it. Okay, real part of it, paste it, and again what you have to do is you have to get the imaginary part of it and get over here and just paste it. So just type okay in this manner. So you have a very bizarre function. The circle is really very deformed. So because it is a unit circle, okay, it is a unit circle, it is deformed in this manner. So if what I am doing is that for cos, for example, for cos I am giving a, sorry, for cos I am giving a into, and for sine I am giving b into, and so now what you do is you get the real and imaginary part, real part, and now you get the imaginary part. Okay, so now what you do is you just take this real part, and a and b are really very gathered and combined, and now what you do, you go to the custom function and put a as 2 and b as 5, because we are going to use ellipse now for this conformal mapping. So now what you do is you just get over here, and then I'm just telling you how to do it with any, actually with any kind of conformal mapping. sums. Okay, then you get the imaginary part, then real part is over here, imaginary part is over here. Okay, imaginary part is over here, and you just gather over here and go end and paste it and replace all those functions, and you just copy this. Okay, copy this and get back over here and go to the insert function and go to the x of t y of t. So this is for real part and this is for the imaginary part. Okay, and you'll get a very bizarre function now. Okay, this formula, okay, the formula is empty, so it is telling that it's not being copied. So let's copy this. So it's not being copied, I don't know why. So let's copy this and then click OK. So you get a very bizarre function. You get a very bizarre function which is progressing in this manner. Okay, so this is the ellipse is being deformed. So when I just go to this calc animate and I just tweak the values of a and b, okay, when I just go and tweak the values on a and b, what happens you see. So you can see that it is being deformed into very different kinds of curves. Okay, it is being deformed into different kinds of curves. For example, I have to give some details on this. Okay, we have to give some details on this. So I am just going here. So let us increase the step size to 10,000 and 0 to suppose 50 is enough. Okay, and after that 50 is enough. So this becomes like this. So now what you have to do is you just minus this both things, and how this circle is being deformed I will tell you. So when you just go here to the functions, to the calc animate, you just animate it. It will take some time, it will surely take some time. Okay, or just give the step size very big. So you have a function, so when you just do it in this manner, it just deforms into a very bizarre curves. This is how what we done over here. Okay, so just close this, explore my 3D, and this is the same thing is happening over here. You can just scale it, you can translate it, you can rotate it, all those functions you can do. Okay, so these are the functions in a conformal mapping. Then I have to tell you about the gap between these numbers, all those things. So this is the higher insight that I can give you in the conformal mapping and Riemann zeta connections. Okay, Riemann zeta connections. So these are the connections that I can give you. Then the last one is the stereographic projection. So it's stereographic projection for any complex number, not only for Riemann zeta functions, for any complex numbers you take. For example, you take a conformal mapping and there is a thing called like this. Okay, and now what you do is you just go to the actions and you just draw a curve like this. It is being deformed into a very different curve like this, and now what you do, you just go here Riemann zeta function. So this curve is on this axis. So this axis actually, from the point of infinity, from the UV plane, every point is being plotted from this curve. How to explain that, how to understand this? This is so simple that the anamorphic painting that was given to Tata. Okay, to Tata. Okay, so the anamorphic painting is nothing but it is just a painting which is in the same manner, which is being in a cyclic morphing manner like this. What you can do is you can see that the same morphing strategies are used in complex numbers also. Okay, when you just go here, when you just morph it, cyclic morph. Okay, let's go for another example. So when you just cyclic morph it, it is being morphed. If you just place a cylinder or a circle over here, it will give the original shape, just like this Amitabh, or you can see this Amitabh Bachchan's image over here. You can see everything, or this Ganesh statue's image over here, or Abdul Kalamji's statue. So one day what happened is Tata received this wonderful painting and he was puzzled, what is this? So there was a circle in between, so he placed a circle inside it and he could see his image on it. Okay, and his image on it. This is JRD Tata's story on anamorphic paintings, and this is how the stereographic projection works. So what is stereographic projection? So stereo stereographic projections. So stereographic projections are very complex, not very complex. It is just bringing from north pole, from point of infinity to down. So as you can see here, from the point of infinity to down, it is being plotted. So this is the same thing. When you have an curve, this mapping, you have a red circle, which is the as shown over here. This is the red circle. This red circle is being mapped in a such a way that it is taken from point of infinity to the curve. Okay. Okay, thank you friends. So this insight what I gave you, and also the last insight I have to give you on this Riemann zeta functions is that when you just go here, what at last what you have to do find is, so they have found lots of zeros. So every zero is nearly over here. Every zero is, as actually you can see, that is in this critical strip, and the gap between the points or the gap between the prime numbers. So you should not find this trivial zeros, you should find the non-trivial zeros, and the only thing is that you have to find some other point. Okay, so there are lots of various points over here, so you have to find some other points which are beyond this. Okay, so this is the non-trivial zero which is being found so far. These are the non-trivial zero within the strip, so found so far. So you must not claim that I have found with the trivial zeros and everything using some computers or anything. Okay, now there is an Riemannian hypothesis is being solved, they are telling. Okay, they are telling that it has been solved by an Hyderabad uh, Hyderabad based professor. I am really very I saw his interview. It was really very good. So he just solved it. He told that he solved it by using randomness. So great salute to you, sir. If you solve it, it's a very great issue because he has a very good experience on it, and he told that I have solved it. So this is the so far insight I have give you. I can give you on this Riemann zeta function and all those things, and how to plot complex numbers. These are the connections between complex numbers and Riemann zeta functions. Okay, so this will help you in many means. So I will give you all those needs and all those functions. So I am going to tackle the problem in a different way. I hope there is a solution in that manner, but so far they have not been accepted the proof, I think so. So even though his hard work is really appreciable, and he's a really a true genius. Okay, he has the guts to do it. So really a great salute to that wonderful genius. Thank you, sir, for concentrating on this problem and solving this problem. So, and now what I can tell you is that this is the so far connections with the conformal mapping and Riemann zeta functions. So we will meet in another video on Millennium Prize problem on Hodge conjecture, and there are more to go. Okay, I will try to explain to you in a very simple and very visual manner. Okay, so thank you for your all support. This Millennium Prize problem thing I made in Tamil has actually reached about 1,000 views. So it was a really a great deal for me. Lots of people contacted me. How did you collect this stuff? How did you? It is all on internet and some books what I read, and only small informations I get. Okay, this will be a very great help for you, I know. So please do subscribe, like, and share our channel. Our channel is concentrated on many scientific topics and mathematics topics. So your help would be immensely appreciated only by when you just share the video, tell to your friends that this guy is making a wonderful video and wonderful subject. If you really like this video, you have come 40 minutes of this video, you will really like it. Okay, so please support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing, which would be a great help to us. No matter you're in any part of this world, your courtesy on us would be on like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.